Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Matthew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Dragon Matrix 7, Eerie V23, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, as we find ourselves standing on the cusp of acquiring a powerful new weapon for the Fifth Crusade. Not but a single paltry foe stands between us and our new prize. So let's knock this guy down real quick, and then we will go grab our new sword. What could possibly go wrong? A lot, it turns out. We did die off screen, but I'm sure we've got it this time. Yes, scary, scary. I think Vex is the first to tell you that size doesn't matter.
Retreat is not an option.
Oof. So that would be level 26. Yeah, I guess that would go away towards explaining why attempt number 1 turned into a 20-minute war of attrition. Distractions up. Hopefully that buys us a round or two. And this, I think, would just be like a 1 in 20. A 1 in 20 chance. With no guarantee we'd be able to coup afterwards. Yeah, let's just go for straight damage. Not great. We've got him a third down, making much better progress this time. See, normally I wouldn't mind... showing off my failures, because, man, we definitely failed on attempt number 1, but, like I said, that thing dragged on for 20 minutes, so I figured I'd spare you that. And just include attempt number 2, which should hopefully be slightly more successful.
Out of my sight.
Okay, we're stuck. There we go. Nice, Ember.
You are nothing before me.
Regil, last time you got torn apart by your own raptor, but... forget it. It's fine. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Second time's the charm. You defeated him. Follow me. The temple is very near. Yeah, first time around, we just could not catch a break on those confusion rolls. Elemental Imbuement. Whenever the wearer of this robe suffers elemental damage, for the next round, any spell cast by the wearer that deals the same kind of damage deals +2 damage per dice rolled. I mean, I could see how that would be potentially useful under very specific circumstances, but that is just way too situational. I feel like we would get much more use out of Ember's current robes, which are +2 on spell pen. Okay, ever deeper we go. How this will end, only Marhevok knows. Two enter, one leaves. That is the law of our bloody temple. Rejoice, Gorum, when our blood runs over the stones. Oh, well, that's not at all alarming. Marhevok, you seem different somehow. Have you always had that ponytail? Rormgerbar, Todan Katar, Gorum, Lock. Oh my. Amiri would be proud. The young man takes the black sword. His body trembles. Marhevok's muscles bulge. They are growing, bulking like froth in a boiling pot. You see a horrible wound on his stomach that the young man was obviously hiding from you. Now it is a gaping, bleeding hole filled with arm-thick snakes. His intestines. Marhevok's voice is deep, animal-like. The fang of malice. The weapon of those who live by war. The weapon blessed by Gorum. The fang will make its owner a deadly, almost invincible warrior that hungers for battle. A warrior who won't retreat, betray, or desert. For battle will become their reason for living. Man becomes weapon. Kjar would say such a transformation is a sin. He doesn't understand. But you will. You will understand what a powerful weapon I'm giving to you. I will show you its power. Prepare to fight. Even now, dying, weak, I am invincible. Rormgerbar, Todan Katar. The giant points the black sword at you. Stop, warrior. Do you think you don't fear death? You simply don't know what it is you should be afraid of. What if you succeed and kill an innocent person? What if you win? Believe me, that is a far worse fate than death. I know Commander Kjar Kobelin, and I have observed a common pattern in his work with recruits. A tendency towards rebellion, desertion, an attraction to adventure and romantic notions, instead of strategy and calculation. I regret that I do not have the authority to remove your mentor from his post, soldier. Perhaps if someone had done it sooner, your life might have taken a different course. I don't know, Regil. Based on what we heard, he was already on his way out to do this before he ever even met Kjar. Hey, Marhevok, you maybe want us to put your insides back in and we can talk about this? The lad gives you a grim smile. Too late. A piece of the Direcni stinger is stuck deep in my guts. It's oozing poison. Only skilled healer priest in Dresden can take it out, but I won't make it to the city. Anyway, it's all right. I'm a Kellid. I'm a warrior. I'm not afraid of dying. I mean, we've got Darren right here. I feel like he could probably take care of you, but, This is the Fang of Malice. The one who takes it into battle will be devoted to war forever. The sword increases the powers of its owner and banishes other thoughts from their mind. Only anger and a desire to fight remain. Forever. The owner of the Fang will never return home. He will look for more and more battles. Gorum's power comes through the sword, turning the warrior into his servant, invincible and mighty. Can you imagine the good this weapon would do in the war against the World Wound? How about a dozen of them? They forged a lot of them in Sarkoris. You just have to find similar temples and arm your crusaders with them. Gotta say, that doesn't really sound all that great. I feel like it would just make more problems for us in the long run, but, What is that thing you keep saying? This is the language of Sarkoris. 2 will enter, 1 will leave. That's what priests of Gorum used to say when they entered this shrine. Then they conducted a solemn rite and fought to death for his glory. Today, we too will please Gorum with a fierce battle. Okay, so your plan is to fight me to the death with a weapon you say makes you unbeatable, to convince me to use this weapon. First, I just wanted to bring the Fang to you in Dresden, but I almost died in my fight with the demon, and resigned myself to my fate. But then you came. What a stroke of luck! Madness gleams in Morveg's eyes. I will show you what the Fang of Malice is capable of. You are the commander. You must understand that our war is more important than foolish prejudice. Defeating demons is worth any sacrifice. Yeah, sure. Okay, why not? I guess I've got a few minutes. Let's do this. A wild bear's roar comes out of the lad's chest. Gorum! And here we go. Oh yeah, that's pretty tough. Man, they're throwing an awful lot of level 20 plus challenges at us all of a sudden. Oh, good. Yeah, so that happened. You alright, Regil? You okay? He's only slightly dead. Not all the way dead. Just slightly. I mean, last time his head came off, so he is definitely less dead this time. Not immune to sleep effects. Only plus 13 on will. Yeah, okay, let's go for it. Yeah, I guess that would have been too easy. What was I thinking? Kasves, you're up. This power! Behold and fear the power!
Cover me, all right?
He screamed as he collapsed atop us. Alright, Regil. Up and at him. You can die on your own time. Told ya, it's not the size that counts. The giant drops to one knee, heavily. Something dark, throbbing, and disgustingly alive falls out of the wound in his stomach. My wound is too deep. I'm dying. But you saw what I was capable of, even on the verge of death. Many such weapons were made in Sarkoris. The fang of malice, the fang of despair, envy, suffering, futility. All of them are interconnected, just as warriors in a unit are tied by the bonds of brotherhood. Take my sword and give it to the priests. Their prophecy will point you to other fangs. Arm your crusaders with them, and victory will be yours. A tiny object slips out of the giant's hand. A little straw wolf. Give this to Kiar, and tell him I did everything I could. I hope he can forgive me. Convulsions rack Morveg's body. The end is near. Ember looks at Morveg with a radiant, soothing smile. Don't worry, it will all pass soon. You won't be in pain anymore. Is there anything you want me to do for you? The young man grimaces. I'm a little scared. Can you sing me a song? The one my mother sang to me? The whistle of the bowstring calls the vultures to the feast. Do you know it? Ember shakes her head sorrowfully. No, I don't know it. I'm sorry. It's a song about war, right? I don't know many songs about war. Morveg, I really wish you had aimed all this energy and zeal at the demons instead of me, but hey, at the very least, you beat the complete shit out of Regil and Zorm. Not a lot of people can say that, so, you know, good job there. Maybe that'll be enough to get you a seat at Gorum's table. Avenge us. Avenge Sarkoris. Avenge our ancestors. Our deaths. Our humiliation. Our poverty. Destroy these beasts. All of them. So, in summary, he fled from the guardianship of noble paladins, just to die in an ancient dusty dungeon. I feel pity for the boy, but not much. The fury raging in the young man's eyes fades slowly. His body goes limp. Well, that sucked. You know, if this were a tabletop campaign, this is the point where we'd all look at the guy playing Darren, and he'd just bring him back to life. It'd get pretty awkward. That aside, I'd really be sadder if we had ever really gotten any time to know Morveg. We only ever met him twice. And as I've said before, loot does keep the sorrow at bay. The Fang of Malice. A +4 Fury-born Greatsword. A simple but robust Kelid Greatsword. A drop of blood glistens on the scratched black blade. There is an engraving on the iron handle. I am the weapon. I wound all. A dire curse lies on the sword, but your mythical powers have weakened it and made the weapon safe for its user. More or less. Oh, well, that is an interesting detail. So in theory, if we can use our mythical gift to make these things safer, they might not just be like a self-destruct button on our army. And it removes the armor class penalty when raging, which is nice if you actually have that as a class feature, but we of course do not. Actually, that's a +3 on the belt and the plate. But I believe our current gear is still better. Okay, there we go. We can get some use out of this stuff. Regel's armor is superior, because that was bumped up to +3 as well. We'll hold on to that for Sela. Thanks, Morbeg. Judging by the scraps of moldering clothes, these two dead men were Sarkorian priests of Gorum. Their positions indicate that they died fighting each other. Yeah, I've got to say, I'm starting to understand why we don't see a lot of Gorum's faithful running around. That really doesn't seem sustainable. Arveng's note. That name sounds familiar. Grunhild. I know that you've decided to go to Aden. It is your decision, but think about Ranhild. Valura will not protect you any better than Gorum will. You keep saying that your family must be together, but will you make it to the temple before the demons catch up to you? If you change your mind, I left enough supplies for you to get to Mendev. Your loving brother, Arveng. I want to say Arveng is a character from Kingmaker, who also had a cursed greatsword. Interesting. That's a... I'll have to look into that. I'm not 100% certain on that, but that would be a fun detail. Belt of Mighty Constitution +4. Not too shabby. Yeah, we can get some use out of that. The altar of Gorum, the god of battle, radiates an aura of unrelenting fury, which even the world wound has failed to dampen after all these years. Well, good for him. And that takes care of our current corruption. Very nice. Warden of Darkness. +5 Mithril Tower Shield. That is pretty fantastic. Grants the wielder DR5 good, and a -2 penalty on attack rolls versus evil. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and withdraw the previous comment about this being fantastic. But it is worth 14,000 gold, so we'll take it. I mean, I guess there is a lot to say about a +9 to AC. But the -4 hit to accuracy is pretty rough. Maybe on a very specific tank build, like a villainous tower shield specialist.
Who, me?
One sec, whilst I rebuff Regel.
Smile, the world's not ending just yet.
Good enough. I'm sure I'll be fine. I mean, surely it's not like we're going to run into any more level 20+ challenges out here. Right? Right? Tree stumps and another patch of frost. Interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of this. Oh, great. These guys. That means acid. Oh, my goodness. Whoa, please, stop, please. Okay, Amber is tripped but not dead.
I think I can push through this.
You're fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We can fix that.
Kneel before me. This one's mine.
For goodness sake. You know, I thought we were ready for this place, but maybe we should have gone for the dragon instead.
Trust in yourself.
Alright, let's try shuffling our frontliners slightly farther forward and tucking Ember all the way in back. We're running into a lot of enemies with extended reach lately. Now watch us get just exclusively attacked from behind. Text in Hallet. He who is not curious will never know what it is to be truly alive. Sure, okay. Ah, I see. We're just outside Wintersun. The fact that we found demons just outside their borders does seem a bit perturbing. Let's check over here. Okay, let's approach the gate. Oh, are we doing this again? Alright, Kaz. Whatever makes you happy, buddy. This is your tale, too. The somber, scarred warrior guarding the gates to the settlement almost chokes when he sees you. Stop! Stop, you monster! You've some nerve just showing up outside the walls of Wintersun like this. Why are you glaring at me? Do you think you can avoid the wrath of the Lady of the Sun? Is that how guests are welcomed in Wintersun now? I remember when you used to be famed as the most hospitable clan. People used to say visitors to Wintersun never leave empty-handed. What happened? There may be a war going on, but the spirits won't praise you for turning feral on folk. Yeah, look, I'm going to give you a break on that because I can't really expect you to get up-to-date news out here in the backwoods, but You might want to curb your tone a bit, gentlemen. You face Vex Godglove, commander of the 5th Crusade. You know, the guy who's here to save your asses. Or kick them, if need be. You're a fool, demon, or else you take us for fools. Dresden fell, everyone knows that. It was captured by an army of your repulsive kin. And we're not going to let the same thing happen to us. Stop, children of Wintersun. The voice, soft and stirring, is coming from a statue adorning the gates. Stop. Do not raise your weapons. Let them pass. This creature is my guest. I shall keep an eye on him. None can harm the children of Wintersun within my domain. The warrior's face hardens. What? Let this monster into our village? When we're the last place standing against the demons now that Dresden's fallen? You heard the Lady of the Sun, dimwit. Let him pass. What's this demon going to do to us, anyway? The Lady of the Sun has protected us all these years, and no abomination from the abyss has ever captured Wintersun. And it's not going to happen today, either. The second guard squints at you, grimly. Suddenly, you hear a crash and screams from somewhere behind the buildings. There comes a call of, "Warriors, to me!" Both guards throw a final steely look at you before leaving their posts and running toward the commotion. Only the wooden idol now remains to watch over the settlement's outskirts. Intriguing. But I think pretty straightforward. They've dropped enough clues that it seems pretty obvious these guys have been ensorcelled to recognize Crusaders as demons. They seem to think that Vex is a demon. That's obviously the same fate that befell our unfortunate scouts. And we did recently retake Dresden, which they are recognizing as the exact opposite. Mom, Dad, help! Monsters in the village! Stop staring! Run! Save yourselves! Why does that beautiful lady walk with monsters? They will eat her up! Okay. They clearly see demons as normal people. So I think that gives us a pretty good idea that a demon is behind this. Probably their Lady of the Sun. It's too bad the Lady of the Sun only gave us one dragon. I'd love to have a whole herd of them. Oh, good. So there's a dragon here too. So we saved ourselves approximately 0 trouble by coming to Wintersun before going after the dragon. Have you heard the new ballad about the Lady of the Sun in Marhevok? So beautiful, makes me want to weep. The song and the lady. Uh-huh. Sure, sure. Oh my, we should probably check that out once we're done looting. Looking for clues, I mean. We are clearly investigating this strange mystery that has befallen Wintersun. Yeah, that's not great. No crowding here, good neighbors, no crowding. A babao demon holding a pretty flower basket flashes a predatory grin. Poor Dar is not himself. He lost his family in Dresden and has been drowning his grief in wine for a few days. He always picks fights when he's drunk, and you know what a stonemason's fists are like. He's killed the boy, cry voices from the crowd. Make way, neighbor. We'll put him in a cellar to sleep it off. The babao turns around and hisses at the culprit, a huge Baylor at whose feet a young barbarian is lying covered in blood. I'm so tired of you, neighbor Dar. Go home and stop ruining the fun for the rest of us. What is he doing, hitting the poor flower girl? Dar, wake up. The Lady of the Sun won't have things like this in Wintersun. Okay. What the demon is going on here? A tall warrior with dark hair and gray eyes stands between the humans and the roaring Balor. He looks the fiend right in the eye. Are you forgetting where you are? These lands are protected by the Lady of the Sun. Behave, or I, Marhevok Grunhold, will throw you out of my town. The Balor's laughter is booming. You really think your beloved beauty can do anything to me? If I wanted to, I could break her neck, and yours, and your little worms, and the necks of every puny little human in the district. And then I'll pay a visit to the castle in the clouds, and clear out every sunny little follower. I'm sick of this game anyway. I'm leaving. For now. Oh, Darazand. We know that guy. That's the Balor whose butt we kicked back in Dresden. Also the guy that Greyborn notably failed to assassinate. No wonder he's so pissed. Go about your business now. There's nothing to gawp at. The warrior bends down and picks up several of the flowers from the basket belonging to the babao. He notices you, and his expression hardens infinitesimally. Ah, a guest of my lady. I am the chief of the Wintersun clan. You can take a look around if you wish, but you must visit me in the clan hall. It would be rude of you to not pay a proper visit to the master while you're in his house. I'm sorry, I don't think we've been properly introduced. Vex Godglove, commander of the 5th Crusade. This is Kaz. Yeah, I'm only in your house because, someone decorated your front lawn with a bunch of my dead scouts. Marhevok frowns. The Lady's Shrine is sacred to all the children of Wintersun. If someone has desecrated it with murder, they will be punished. You know, the thought does occur it might have something to do with all the demons walking around your village killing people. Are you guys just cool with that, or... Marhevok's mouth twists, like he's biting back a retort he desperately wants to deliver. In that case, shouldn't thanks be in order, demon? If not for the kindness of the lady, you would have been killed on the spot. Right. Okay. Gotta say, Chief, I can't help but notice you are not actually answering any of my questions. Marhevok pauses. I'm not used to talking in the middle of the town square. Come to my hall, honored guest. We can speak there. Sure. Somewhere nice and private. Preferably remote with thick walls where no one can hear the screams. Yeah, I can work with that. We'll have a nice, long chat. Very well. We'll be expecting you. Marhevok nods and walks off, tension radiating from him with every step. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to try to kill me. But yes, that does pretty much confirm this entire village is under some sort of mass ensorcelment. They see demons as people and crusaders as demons. Given that everyone here seems to unquestionably worship the Lady of the Sun, I'm going to say that is our most likely culprit, especially given that she's apparently the source of the young adult white dragon we just glimpsed, which itself also helps explain the random patches of frost we've been seeing. Not to mention, of course, the fact that Darazand literally referred to all of this as a game, which the babao was specifically telling him not to ruin for everyone else. Yeah, this is all starting to make sense. It's good that we're visited by merchants from Mendev and visitors from the castle in the clouds. Things would be dull around here without them. Right, I'm guessing those are all demons. So obviously Marhevok is waiting for us, likely to kill us, but we'll poke around the entire village first. Let me tend your wounds, brave warrior. You say you were guarding Dresden when the demons came? Hey, friend, where are you going? Yeah, that also tracks. If he fought in Dresden, he would definitely know who I am. Gesmerha. A woman with a wealth of long dark hair stands by the statue, carefully touching the wood. Her long fingers slide along the smooth surface, searching for cracks and scratches. As you approach, the woman startles, tosses her head back, and you see her eye sockets are empty and scabbed over like old scars. Who's there? A stranger? I don't recognize your footsteps. Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to startle you. Vex Godglove, commander of the 5th Crusade. This is Kaz. We just took Dresden. I'm here looking for a few of my soldiers who went missing. I don't suppose you've, heard anything about that? A visitor from the outside, and a crusader, too, the woman exclaims enthusiastically. But then she seems to falter, quirking her head like she's trying to listen to something. Her fingers tremble nervously. What do you want to talk to me about? Okay, so it's not just visual. You know what? Why don't we start with the basics? I already introduced myself. And you are? My name is Gesmerha. I was the senior woodshaper in Wintersun. A woodcarver or sculptor, as you would call it. My level of skill is not bestowed on everyone. We woodshapers do not consider wood to be just a material. We do not make something out of it. We give the wood a new birth. We reveal its beauty in a new form. I come from an ancient line of craftsmen and women, and I swear that I have done everything to avoid bringing shame to my ancestors' memory. I strove to preserve beauty even in the midst of chaos, which is what the demons had turned Sarkoris into, aided by the traitor Arilu. But one day my gift failed me. At the request of Marhevok, our clan chief, I was tasked with carving a statue of the Lady of the Sun. But no matter how hard I tried, instead of a beautiful elf, my chisel again and again revealed a hideous monster in the wood. Marhevok flew into a rage when he saw my work, Gesmerha says, her voice quieter now. He personally cut out my eyes as punishment, and journeymen were given the task of finishing the statue. The clan did not turn its back on me, of course. The children of Wintersun do not drive out their own, even those who have transgressed upon the entire community. They allow me to do simple carvings and to take care of the statues. That is how I have lived since that day. Oof, that's rough. So her gift let her see through the illusion, and she was punished for it. So, tell me about Wintersun. This place was once the capital of the Wintersun clan. Yes, the capital. In the glory days of old Sarkoris, the clan controlled vast swaths of land with several settlements and many farmsteads. But when that accursed Arilu opened the world wound, the clan began to wither, like a sapling that's been chopped at the roots. Then the world wound opened even wider, and the blight reached these lands. The children of Wintersun either died defending their home, or left in search of a better life elsewhere. In the end, all that was left was this one settlement. Only the toughest, most stubborn people were left, the ones who were prepared to survive and defend their land to their last breath. But even they would have perished if not for the Lady of the Sun. Since she came here, demons haven't dared to attack Wintersun. Life is hard here, the soil is weak, and the animals to hunt few and far between. But it is our home. If we leave our homes and we stop singing our songs, the memory of Sarkoris will die too. Tell me about this Lady of the Sun. She sounds fascinating. Marhevok, the leader of the Wintersun clan, met her on a hunt many years ago, when he was a young man. People say it was love at first sight, and the Lady of the Sun left her magical castle in the clouds to live with Marhevok in his humble hut. The Lady of the Sun is a powerful sorceress. She gave Marhevok his hunting dragon, and has protected Wintersun against demons all these years. Ever since she came here, not a single demon has attacked this place. Not even the one that just murdered people in the middle of town square. Magic users were feared in Sarkoris in the old days. And for good reason, if you remember that cursed witch who brought all these calamities down on us. But we trusted the Lady of the Sun and accepted her as our protector. Although it was not an easy decision. Uh-huh. So hear me out here, Giz. You've got demons walking around in the streets, just literally killing people in broad daylight. And yet your fellow villagers seem to think that I'm a demon, even though I am clearly not a demon. I'm a very rugged and handsome halfling, take my word on that. You can sense that something's off, right? Demons within these walls? That's not possible. The Lady of the Sun promised to protect us. Besides, the settlement has old runestones that start to flicker when demons approach. Even if the monsters had tricked us somehow by disguising themselves, the stones would have warned us about the danger, and my people wouldn't be caught dead chatting to our sworn enemies. Gesmerha frowns as though puzzling something out. Yeah, not to mention, you know those soldiers I said I was looking for? I found them. They're, stuck up on spikes around a shrine to your Lady of the Sun. Bodies at the shrine? That is very strange. The children of Wintersun are no enemies of the Crusaders, and no one would dare sully the Lady of the Sun's shrine with the blood of allies. Marhevok always keeps the shrines adorned with flowers for the lady, along with his trophies. Slain demons. Yeah, you don't say. Funny how that works out. The woman is silent for a while, gathering her thoughts. Listen, stranger. There is something odd happening in Wintersun. It's true. The Lady of the Sun promised us protection, and demons truly have never attacked the settlement. But there are visitors that come here from the outside. They come often, and they look like crusaders, merchants from Mendev, scholars from Absalom, or kin of Our Lady from her castle in the clouds. Some of them even live here long-term, and every single one of them acts strangely. They talk to us like there's some great joke and we're not in on it. And sometimes there are rougher types who do something wild. I've tried broaching the topic with people I trust, but they either don't believe me or they're afraid to speak openly. Marhevok does not permit any doubts about him or the Lady of the Sun, or her guests. And there's something else. Grief wells up in the woman's voice. Every few years, someone in the village goes mad. It's usually one of our guards or hunters who go out on forays to kill demons. They either start weeping, begging for forgiveness, or they attack their neighbors. The clan doesn't turn its back on its children. That's why these mad people are only put outside the settlement's walls. But everyone now believes they're beyond helping. They are mad and angry at the entire world. A secret horror gnaws at the soul of Wintersun, but I can't see it or find out what it is. And I don't know how to help you solve it, friend. All I can give you is this piece of advice. Check our runestones. They should warn us about demons in the vicinity, and if they are not doing that, then there is some evil at work here. If you want answers quickly, go straight to Marhevok. He is the only person who has been to the castle in the clouds, and he even had a key to it hidden somewhere. He knows more than anyone else. But watch yourself. Marhevok is a mighty warrior quick to anger and ruthless. And the limits of the Lady of the Sun's power are entirely unknown. Well, I appreciate the warning, Gesmerha. And the chat. I'll walk around your village a bit. Take in the sights, maybe check out these famous runestones of yours. See what's what. I'm sure we'll get this figured out. Okay, that is a lot to unpack. But we did pick up a new ally and a new lead. The runestones, which we'll clearly want to check out before we confront Marhevok, who might actually be in on this whole thing. And then the other big takeaway, of course, is that just dispelling this thing might not be enough to actually save Wintersun. Because, as Gesmerha pointed out, apparently people who have resisted the effect in the past have just gone completely insane. So if we lift that effect all at once, there's no telling what might happen. Alright, well, we are past time, so I feel like this is a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now. I will mull over what we have learned, and we will pick up here next time, as we try to resolve this thing with as little collateral damage as possible. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official websites. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon or that new YouTube membership thing. Links are in the description.
I'm leaving. For now.